Hello all, I'm sure like me, many of you struggle to listen to modern media, whether it's the television, the radio, pop music. Once you understand it's all just repeating the liberal cliches and orthodoxy of the era, it suddenly becomes very off-putting. It seems to belong in a bygone era now, and this clip from LBC featuring Iain Dale and the podcaster Andrew Gold proves my point.
It is unrecognisable. I happen to live in a town where that has happened. Like, it really has happened. And then it is brought to life. You see that. We walk out of the street, there is nobody speaking English for...
Where's this?
Well, in Bristol.
Speaking, I'm from Somerset. I used to spend a lot of time in Bristol. Yeah. I've never been on the street.
Well, you told me before you were there 15 years ago. I said to you the demographics have changed.
Yeah, but that's
what immigration has done.
I've never been where no one's speaking English.
Why do you care? So, to me, if I hear somebody not speaking English, my first thought is, I wonder what language that is. It's not, I want this person out of my country.
Right.
Ugh, the unbearable smugness of people like Iain Dale. Yeah, when you hear another language, you're just so open-minded and kind-hearted and culturally curious that you just think, wow, I wonder where that person could be from. But fortunately, fewer and fewer people are buying into this crap anymore and are aware that it's just emotional manipulation from the liberal regime. Sure, most of us, when we first heard a foreign language in the 90s, maybe thought, oh, how interesting, I wonder where that person's from. But when you hear it for the millionth time in your hometown and nobody speaks English, it gets a little off-putting. Case in point, I have to visit London about once a month for working reasons, and me and my wife and son make a long weekend of it, see old friends, that sort of thing, as well as to see the state of Babylon. Now, one weekend I took my son out to the park and he pooed himself. I should add, he's 1, not 17, But the point is, he pooed himself, I had to go and change him in the middle of the park, and I went up to some people and I said, excuse me, are there any baby changing facilities, maybe a restaurant around here? And the response you get is, don't speak no English, not so good, maybe change a poo in bush. And I'm thinking, first of all, it's you can change him in the bush, not change a poo in the bush. Second of all, I'm not a retard. I know I can change him in the bush. I just don't want to put my 1-year-old in the dirty earth. I want to find, a clean bathroom or something. But my point is, this is the sort of experience that's kind of common in major cities and towns. In Britain these days, you're interacting with people who live in their own semi-autonomous enclaves, who live in a completely different psycho-cultural physical space to you. Now, I'm sure this multicultural liberalism works for the liberal elite in their skyscrapers where they can outsource their root self for corporate values and what other nonsense the neoliberal system has come up with this week. Yet the reality for most of us is what's on your screen now. This is the London Underground, and as you can see, it's full of people from different backgrounds, and there's nothing wrong with that in and of itself, but they're all living in their own little world, their own psychology, their own language, their own tradition, their own root self, and really, they're only here for economic reasons, ultimately. And we are told by our liberal overlords that this is wonderful, it's brilliant, it's beautiful, it's going to make us all stronger. However, to most of us now, it seems that we're just getting swamped. Our identity is no longer relevant in our own country. Increasingly, you don't even hear English on many high streets. And I've always said, look, small levels of immigration can work. It's part of a civilization's growth, but they must be small and not affect the collective. We've got the exact opposite, where it's mass immigration and the collective itself is rooted out. This doesn't make people feel at home. This doesn't warm their heart to the state of the future of Britain. Yet the reality is that snooty snobs like Iain Dale know exactly what's going on at the root of this country. The reality is they can afford to move away from it all, be part of the liberal elite, and look down on you from their ivory tower. I thought I'd look at where Iain Dale lives, and it turns out he lives in Tunbridge Wells, which is a highly affluent town down in Kent. Tunbridge Wells is still actually majority Christian, which is a real outlier for modern Britain. On top of that, around 90% of the people are white British there. No wonder he can have such a liberal attitude when he hears a foreign accent. Yet the silver lining to all of this is that the liberal lovies' arguments are becoming increasingly bizarre and increasingly out of touch. People know on a primal level that you want to be able to communicate with those around you. You want familiarity with those people around you. And the modern world is completely eating that alive. Yet what the Iain Dales of the world haven't caught up with yet, because they're lost in their snobby enclaves, is that thinking this way, feeling this way, wanting to connect with the people around you, wanting to be part of a collective whole, isn't hateful, it isn't evil, it's the exact opposite. It's beautiful, it's soulful, it's humane. I think this is where we need the confidence on the right to tip the scales and completely reject the liberal framing of these issues. No, we don't hate outsiders, but we value our inside, and that's completely valid in a global, historical, philosophical, spiritual and political context. We should have the confidence to say that the extremists here are the people who are usurping our ancient nation, who are pro-mass immigration and, quote, diversity, which is rendering this ancient people, this ancient land, nothing more than a soulless economic zone which nobody truly values and nobody really considers home any longer. Anyway, do let me know what you think down below, and do consider subscribing to the channel if you're new.